Well, hello, everybody. Come on over. Anastasia and I are here waiting for you. We're gonna give you a couple of minutes. I really don't want you to miss this amazing presentation. We have in the house Anastasia Pryanikova. She is a certified international speaker, an incredible coach, a trainer, presenter. She is a co-author of incredible books that she co-authored actually with Brian Tracy and John Valentine, right? And has been on on TV, on different media stations. You know about her. I wrote about her. And the most amazing thing is that today she joined us to share her secrets of how to use speaking in order to attract abundance and tribes, right? Speaking your vibes in order to attract abundance and tribes. So Anastasia, thank you so much, first of all.
Thank you, Marina. I'm very excited to be with you all here, and I'm very excited to be part of this amazing group of soulpreneurs and all the wonderful things that we're doing in the world, including speaking out for what we believe in and really promoting our businesses and our messages.
Exactly. And talking about speaking out, you know that often, especially solopreneurs, people who really care, right, about the well-being of others, feel a little bit shy because, we have this kind of modest side of us and we feel like we want to serve, but not to be necessarily out there. It's not about us, it's about our client. Could you please tell us, why do you believe that speaking is one of the most important skills for solopreneurs to get noticed?
Okay, well, thank you so much for the question. And I think the way that you led up to this question is something that's very congruent that I saw. Before we got together and decided that I will be speaking, as I was brainstorming the ideas, I pulled the tarot card because it's one of my visualization and meditation techniques to see what kind of message I should be focusing on for our soulpreneurs. And interestingly enough, the card that I pulled, for those of you who may know tarot, was the Emperor, but it was reversed. This is actually the card that I have here as my today's inspiration. And what it really means is the Emperor in its upright position is about authority. It's about law. It's about structures in our life that give us on a personal level some sort of stability and boundaries. And funny enough, I come from the background of law, so I kind of resonated with the card because I was a lawyer for a number of years and spoke with that structure. And then the reversed Emperor brings out complementary qualities of compassion that we as soulpreneurs need to balance with the ability to speak and make sometimes some tough decisions. So what I want to convey today, and why it is okay to feel the tension and feel like, I have a lot of compassion. We all have those huge hearts as solopreneurs. We want to help, but yet sometimes we are afraid to speak out. We're afraid of conflict. We're afraid of that tension inside that sometimes tells us, who am I to be speaking about this? There's so many gurus that know so much better than I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we all do.
Presenters, who am I? I'm not a presenter.
I'm not a speaker. Oh, gosh, English is not even my first language. And here I am trying to tell somebody something who's going to listen. Those are the thoughts that I definitely went through for many times. But what I want us all solopreneurs to embrace is that this tension inside of us is okay. And not only that, but in general, as we all know, and this is why it's important to kind of phrase the speech in that way, conflict is part of any good story, of any good speech, any good movie or book. There is no good book without strife and conflict. So it's okay to feel like, it's okay that you feel a little bit shy because you feel like your ideas may not be perfect. One thing I remember from one of my mentors, Craig Valentine, he always says that speaking is not about perfection, it's about connection. And for solopreneurs, I want to emphasize that it's okay to feel shy, but think not about yourself, but about your message. That it's about your message and it's about your ability to connect with your audience, to deliver that message in the most favorable way that you can.
I love it. So what you said, that people, like speaking is about connection. So we connect on so many different levels, right? Some of us connect through words, really, and some of us just connect through our presence, through our energy. And so that really helped me to learn from you that, when I connect, it also means that I need to be authentic. I don't need to pretend that I am somebody that I'm not.
Absolutely. Right? I think that's a great point. Sometimes new speakers especially make this mistake. They kind of try to model themselves after somebody they like, and they think, oh, I'm going to adapt that style. That's how I'm going to speak. Or they create this fabulous speech and they memorize it word for word. And it rarely works because we need to be in the moment. With all of that energy that we bring into the audience, we need to know how to handle it. And it's okay to be nervous. I always say it's also okay to be nervous when you speak, because if you don't, maybe it's a sign that you don't care enough. Because even the best speakers out there that have been on stages all over the world, they still have the nerves. And what I say is the trick is to move that nervous energy into the energy of excitement, because you have that exciting, beautiful, important message that you need to deliver to people who really, really need to hear it. So this is how I would phrase that.
I love it. And you have actually a 5-step process, right? 5 points that we want to take away from today. And the first one is called Find the Oracle Within and Tune Out the Noise. I think that it's related to what we're talking right now. Could you please explain it a little bit better?
Sure. When I say tune out the noise and tune in the oracle, it's about really a process of how we put together our message and what we think is important to share. If you are a new speaker, you may be overwhelmed with a lot of things that are floating through your mind and you just don't know where to focus. And we know that a good speech requires good structure. If you are a speaker who's been around for a while, you may feel kind of in a rut because you've already done it so many times and it feels like it's working, but it really doesn't give you the same level of satisfaction. And so I developed a process that I use with my clients and always with myself. We all kind of speak about the same topics that we really know, but each time we come into an audience, we can expand on something that maybe previously we have not thought of. And so one of the things that I use is kind of like a meditative journaling. I call it the oracle journaling. And you can really adapt it to any kind of practice that you like to do. I go through 7 little questions or 7 focus points. And when I ask myself those 7 question points, I think about how they apply to the topic of my speech. And so it's for me, for example, since I sometimes use tarot, I can do it actually as a tarot spread that can help me guide my message. And the first step in this process is what I call find your oracle. What is waiting to be expressed right now for your audience? The second step is what I call the silver spoon. What is the benefit? What is the gift of your message to your audience, to your world? The third is the sharp knife. And that is what needs to be let go of as a result of that message. Where is the point of pain that this message can relieve us and how we can let go of it? That's the sharp knife. The next one is how we spell out the message. What wording, what phrase we can use that really can resonate with our audience. That's the spell out. The other part of spell out is what ritual and practice can be put forward for our audience that they can practice that message in real life. what tricks and techniques can we share that can help our audience to practice the message? After that, the next point is result. What tangible outcome are we bringing into the world as a result of this message? What are we expecting to see changed, expanded as a result of the message?
Wow, I'm writing it down. I'm posting for everybody, okay?
And the final part of another R is reflection. And that is, how does it make us feel? How does this message make us feel? And that's really a question, kind of an introspection, that we go back and see how we can relate to the message. What can we find beneficial for ourselves personally in holding that message? How can we anchor the message in our soul? So again, this is a simple 7-step, 7 points process that you can do with your tarot cards as a spread. You can do as a meditation. Think about it. Go for a walk in the woods or by the river, by the lake. Marina, you have a beautiful lake.
Yeah.
Think what comes up for you, because any message that you even know can be still expanded as a result of that, of tuning into your oracle, tuning into the importance of your message. So
this is amazing. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm like taking notes so we won't forget any of this. And this is really great. Okay. Sounds good. So this is the first step, right?
Yes.
What is the second step?
The second step is to remember that you are the messenger and the multimedia is the message. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of noise out there, as we know. And some of it comes through, the way our brains work is that we filter out a lot of information that is not relevant. And to be an effective speaker, you have to be able to cut through that noise. And unfortunately, right now, sometimes we are inundated with information, and it becomes harder and harder to tune in into even something that you need to hear. So I think the understanding here is that you can be a speaker not just in front of the audience at a workshop and live, kind of in the live setting, that there are other ways where you can meet your audience, just like we do with Marine right now. We're on Facebook Live. But in other circumstances, you may be on Instagram, or you may be speaking on Twitter. You may be doing a webinar through GoToMeeting or some other platform. And each of those platforms, they come with a certain expectation and certain requirements that as a speaker, you need to be able to understand. What you do on Facebook may not work on Instagram. What works on webinar may not work for live audience. So you need to be able to adjust and remember that the multimedia is really right now the message. And people go to multimedia because they expect a certain quality and type of content that's important for that media, that they enjoy. And we need to be attuned to that as speakers.
This is great. I love what you said that, you know, when we talk about speaking, most of us imagine a huge, audience, right? And you're on the stage with the spotlight. Some of us like it, okay? But most people really don't like it. They feel scared. They feel on the spot. But you say that being a speaker, you really don't have to choose just that type of, you don't ever have to be on the spot like that, right?
Absolutely. You may never be on the stage, and you still are going to be able to deliver your message through your Facebook trainings, or maybe through Instagram videos or YouTube channel. So you have to find which platform works best for you as a speaker and where your audience likes to hang out so that they can meet you there and you can meet them there. So this is a great world for speakers right now who may not want to travel the world, let's say.
Yeah. Or be on the spot, or even show their face. You can do it in a podcast manner if you really like to be on the video. I know lots of people who don't, okay?
Exactly. That's a great podcast, by the way, right now is really booming, more than videos, because people, you know what, I'm a mom. I drive all over town in the evenings, and what do? I listen to podcasts. So again, if your audience are busy moms with children, podcast is a great way to go as a speaker.
Absolutely. Thank you. So what is the third step?
The third step is you have to be appreciative of what the energy is of your audience. You meet your audience where they are, and you take them on a journey with you. And what I mean by that is the audience come in all different shapes and types. And some of the audience may be more conservative, some may be more kind of easygoing, laid back. And if you come into, let's say, a conservative audience and you have so much energy and you're jumping up and down the stage, it may not work very well. So you have to be kind of attuned to where your audience is. If they have been sitting through a whole, let's say, day of presentations and they're really, really tired, you have to appreciate that and meet them where they are so you can adjust their levels of energy. Once you connected with them on maybe a little lower energy than you would like to be, then you can build up the energy in the room. But it's always very important to be appreciative of where you meet people. And with that kind of,
no, sorry, I just wanted to I think you are hitting, like, it's exactly what we're talking about, what's important, but I think that meeting people where they are also means topic-wise, because sometimes we, as you know, you're an expert in a certain field and you think that you know this is important for your audience, but there. So meeting them where they are, right, mentally, and then showing them that, oh, you need this actually, right? Sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely true. And with the energy, what I also like to talk to people about, I love yoga. I do a lot of yoga. And one of the things that exist in yoga is the 5 elements. We talk about the 5 elements that not only exist in yoga, and actually most ancient traditions. They speak about the elements of water, fire, air, right, earth, and space or ether. And one thing you can do is you can start thinking about your speech in terms of those elements. If you bring a lot of fire into your speech becomes very dynamic. It's really have a lot of push and power and authority. And it's going to be great for some people, but others may be a little put off by your energy because they may be earth people who generally like to ground, and they may like proof, and they may like more factual information than you are willing to offer with your passion and your enthusiasm. So I think what's important to balance is not only the content and the topic and all of those wonderful structural things, but also to create a dynamic energy in terms of the elements. So you have a little bit of airy inspiration and the creativity that air brings of brainstorm or many ideas. You have some factual grounding proof that earth brings. You have some flexibility and options that water gives us. You have that fire and enthusiasm that the fire element kind of possesses. And then you also connect it to something really bigger and expansive, something beyond you, the goals, and that's our space, the ether. So that's another kind of little trick that I like to work with my clients on, is how does your speech match those types of elements? And that actually also important even in private communication. When you talk to your child, what kind of speech do you hear from your child? Are they in a state of air where they're all over the place and they can't really focus? Or are they really kind of grounded in earth state? Are they floaty like water? And how you can meet them there where they can understand you better, because we're all kind of come with our own preferences, right? And our own energetics, personal energetics. So I think that's another important thing to remember, is how you can manage and take it further.
And I wrote it for everybody too, so you guys remember. I know some of you cannot join us maybe because of the time, but you can always go back to this video. This is incredible. I love it, Anastasia. I love all of your analogies, and it's just so great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, the fourth point that I want to talk about is that you can't really be heard unless you know how to listen. And that's, again, something we probably came across in our life. When there's someone who is so much in their own world and their own passion and their own ideas, and they so forcefully push it on others that they kind of like isolate themselves. They lose on that connection. And I think for speakers, it's very important to listen, first of all, to your own heart and what is important for you to express as a communicator, as a speaker, but also to listen to your audience, where they are, through this process. You have to make the experience for them as if you're speaking to them one-on-one. You don't want to even use the words like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm presenting you such and such. No, you tell the word you. Do you know how hard it is to live there and there? Do you know? You talk to them as if you're talking to a neighbor or a friend. And that's what creates that sort of understanding and listening environment. You want to be, even when you speak to thousands of people, you still want to feel intimate with them. And I think it's very important. And another thing that is important, again, multimedia kind of helps us in that way. We can learn more about our audience. We can listen into our audience, again, through Facebook, through Instagram. What points of pain do they express? Maybe it's going to be your sharp knife. What kind of reflections they offer, what kind of questions you can offer them to generate a discussion that can help them to kind of move forward. So I think it's always a two-way street. I think as speakers, we always think, oh, I'm just going to push this out on people and something is going to land somewhere, maybe or maybe not. But I think if we have a co-creative moment energetically, we're much more powerful. And this is also, I think sometimes speakers feel the pressure. They always have to be in the spotlight. There's no point in their speech where they can step away and say, you know what, I'm going to take a break. But actually, a lot of effective speaking techniques offer those breaks to speakers. You can ask your audience to turn to their neighbor and talk about something between themselves that later you can bring to the whole group and share. So I think we need to be sort of cognizant also that it's not all on you. You can ask a question.
And it's actually making you less scared if you are scared, right? Because, and it also, when people feel like they are contributors, right? They're more likely to hear your message and also like your message.
Yes, exactly. And everybody likes to feel the attention. Everybody likes to feel that they are listened to, they're heard. Being heard is actually one of the most kind of desirable factors that lead to people's well-being. We like to be heard. And so whatever it is, you give that opportunity to your audience, they're going to be tuned in so much into your message, so much more.
Wow, that is great. Thank you so much. So we have a final fifth point, right?
That's right. The fifth point is kind of a little trick that I offer. There are many ways to capture that attention of the audience and cut through the noise. But stories are, I believe, one of the most effective ways to connect to your audience, because really our brains evolved to appreciate storytelling. That's how we learn about the world. In all traditions, stories were told orally. They were conveyed from generation to generation. People were sitting around the fires and exchange. This was a communal kind of way to transfer values as well as information. And I think in modern speaking times, we also are very much attuned to the stories. That's how our movie industry works. That's how books are published. We still love the story. And so one of the patterns of a story that I think lots of solopreneurs can think for is what I call then, now.
Oh, you got interrupted. Can you say it one more time? Then, now.
It's then, now, and how. And it's a story of transformation. It could be about you and your own personal experience, or it could be also about one of your clients that is willing to share that story or allows you to share the story. It could be a structure for your testimonials that, again, can speak for you. And what it means is really, then is the state of the problem, of the conflict. Where were you or your client where you struggled? What did you need to let go of to feel better? The then state. The now state is what alteration. How did you make your client better? How do they feel right now in your world? What happened? What changed? And then how is really the path, the journey. How did it happen? What did they have to give up? What did they have to do? Did they have to do a coaching session with you? Did they have to do an energy trip? What is it that made them feel better? So it's a very simple structure, but it's going to allow you to bring that storytelling element of personal experience into the talk that, again, can help you connect with other people who may feel the then. That's the whole idea. How many of your audience are in then stage, and how many of them want to go into your now stage, and how many of them are willing to take what it takes to do what it takes to get to that stage. And that's your how. And ideally, is going to be that one step for your audience to take.
Anastasia, you are interrupted. I don't know, something's going on. Your internet has some glitches. Can you hear me? Anastasia?
Yeah. Hello. You're a little frozen now, but I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, now yes. So yes, you said that the last thing I heard is that how many people in your audience want to be in the then stage, right? Mm-hmm.
How many are in the then stage and want to get out of it into now? And how many want to do what it takes to get to the beneficial, transformative now stage? And in that how process is going to be one step that you're going to offer your audience that they need to take as a result of your speech today or tomorrow, better today, to stay with you on that path. So that's how you phrase the story of then, now, and how, and lead your audience to take the step that whatever it is that you want them to take. Sign up for your session, buy your book, buy your CD or DVD. So a simple structure, but it's going to help you to kind of bring the personal storytelling element into your speech.
I love it. I love
5 points.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. And do you help people? I mean, this is great information. You guys can take it and try to do it on your own, which, is already a lot of value. But I also think that it's really good to be guided through this process. Do you help solopreneurs create powerful speaking, like speeches and help them with this?
Thank you so much for the question, Marina. Yes, absolutely. We only have 30 minutes, and there's so much more that I could share in terms of how to structure speech, how to structure the stories, how to find good stories. So I work with people on helping them develop the idea, helping them overcome the fear of public speaking if they have it, finding the best way, a best channel to convey. It may be stage, may not be stage. So we work on that, as well as develop a fully functional, effective, engaging, and really from the heart type of signature talk that helps them connect with your audience. Absolutely.
I love it. Signature talk, right? This is what all of us solopreneurs, you need to have at least one, and then you can just give it to different audience, but that is something that you are known for, right?
Absolutely, yes. Signature, develop your signature talk. You can always make it fresh again through that Oracle journaling process. You can always build on it depending on who you're speaking to. But this is the first step. That's really a great opportunity. I offer people to connect with me for a free consultation to see where they are and how I can help them.
Wow.
You can also find me on my website, brainalchemist.com, and kind of take it from there.
Wonderful. So everybody, please, you already saw that in very short 30 minutes, Anastasia gave you so much value. It's really amazing. Thank you so much, Anastasia.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Information, I'm taking notes, and I'm sure that everybody who's going to watch this later, unfortunately, maybe the time is not the best for everybody right now, will make sure that they take notes too. But please use this opportunity to talk to Anastasia. She's have a free consultation with you to see where you are now, what your needs are, what's the best for your personality, right?
Yeah.
For you and for your audience. So go to www.brainalchemist.com. I'm putting it in our comments too. And thank you so much, Anastasia.
Thank you. And it was lovely, and I can't wait to connect more with your audience and everybody you out there. Thank
Thank
you
you so much. Happy vibes, happy lives.